Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first workshop of the semester for spring 2022. And today we are going over the Enneagram. So this is called Knowing Your Numbers, and we're going to kind of learn about what the Enneagram is, how it can apply to you, and knowing your numbers. So obviously, hello, my name is May. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a student leadership consultant here in the Leadership Center, and I'm a fourth year English major. So kind of an agenda of what we're going over. So the first part is, what is it? So exactly what is the Enneagram and why do we need to know what it is in terms of knowing ourselves? Going over your results. So we're all going to take the test and learning what your numbers are. The third is going to be understanding. So the benefits of the Enneagram and knowing your wings. And I'll explain kind of what the wings are later on. And then lastly is going to be going forward, using your number knowledge in future endeavors. 3 and 4 kind of link together near the end, but I promise it all makes sense. So the first thing is, what is the Enneagram? So coming into this, when I decided to do this topic and I talked over with Jess and Haley, I have taken the Enneagram before, but I never super deep dived into what exactly it is and what my number means to me. So it was really cool to do this presentation and learn about my number, who I am, and how I can apply it to all the different roles I do and how I can apply it to my everyday life. So let's kind of go over what it is and what it is not. So firstly, here's my Enneagram. I am a type 6. A little fun fact is my 8 and my 3 were both 1% apart. So I thought that was really cool. And according to my Myers-Briggs, these are also the most common numbers in terms of what my type 6 is. So I thought that was very fun. So just a little fun fact. So there is mine. Okay, so what an Enneagram is. It is a tool to navigate and understand team dynamics, a way to identify motives, and a resource to know potential fears and desires. And we'll kind of hit on that more when we are going over each number, each type, and what their fears, desires, and kind of common traits. What an Enneagram is not, it is not a personality test, an excuse for your behaviors, and it's not always 100% accurate. Yes, it may fit you, but there's also other things that could fit you as well. So don't let it put you in a box. So number 2, going over your results. So I'm going to go to this screen right here. Go ahead and scan the QR code and take the test. It's about 7 pages of, I believe, 12 questions each. So take some time and pause the video, and then we can come back. Okay, so I'm assuming you paused the video, you took your little test, you got your numbers, and let's move and groove. So we're going to go over each type. So if you're a type 1, which is the reformer, so I'm just going to kind of hit a couple of these. So core desire is being good / being right. The core fear is being bad or being wrong. Common characteristics is a strong sense of self, of right and wrong, strong attention to detail and quality. And then the blind spots can appear critical or impatient and may be unaware of body language when angry, annoyed, or upset. And if you go back to mine for reference, okay. So my number 1 is actually kind of one of the bigger chunks of my Enneagram. So that kind of does apply to me. So in terms of what Enneagram is not, it's not a personality test or 100% accurate, but see that I still fall under that. So just a little example for you all. Number 2 is the helper. The core desire is to be loved or wanted, and the core fears is being unloved or unwanted. Common characteristics is having a natural nurturing presence, supportive, and offering words of encouragement. And then a couple blind spots may become overly giving and forget their own needs, and may be unaware of hidden intentions behind generosity. Number 3 is going to be the achiever, and I do know a couple of achievers in my life, so hi. So we have core desire as being successful, and a fear as being a failure or failure in general. Common characteristics will not stop until they achieve their goals, and they're willing to adjust to ensure success. Blind spots, they may become workaholics and have trouble relaxing, and may appear uncaring, opportunistic, or insincere. And if any of these are your numbers and you want to really read over and look over it, please feel free to pause the video, read the slides. Next one is going to be the individualist. So the core desires to be significant or unique, and the fears having no clear identity. I apologize. I just choked in my spit. Common characteristics is going to be tend to be aware of their emotions and willing to express them and have a strong sense of self. And then the blind spots can overshare emotions and appear dramatic to others and overfixate on searching for what is missing. Number 5 is going to be the investigator. So the core desire is to be competent and a core fear is being inadequate. Common characteristics is constantly pursuing more knowledge and tend to be very independent. And the blind spots can struggle with commitment in relationships and resources, etc., and likely to detach from emotion and focus only on facts. So this one is mine. I am a loyalist, a type 6. So my core type 6 core desire is being secure, feeling secure, whether that's physically, emotionally, financially, etc. Core fears is being without support or guidance. Common characteristics of a type 6 are very alert and aware of potential risks and trustworthy and will act on behalf of the greater good. Couple blind spots is skeptical to the point of questioning others' trust and tend to project fears onto people. And I will say that does resonate with me. If you're type 6 as well, maybe some things don't resonate with you, and that's okay too. Next is the enthusiast, type 7. So a core desire is to be satisfied or content. A fear is being trapped. Common characteristics is like to keep options open and they adapt easily. They are playful, spontaneous, and look forward to the next event. Couple blind spots is quick to pick up new skills, but may overestimate ability, and they gloss over emotions, negative feelings. So number 8 is the challenger. A core desire is being independent and being controlled. Fear is being controlled. Common characteristics is act quickly on gut instincts and impact others, have the ability to guide towards the larger picture. And the blind spots are their strong energy can come off as intimidating and tend to not conform to rules. And last but not least, type 9 is our peacemakers. So the core desire is being harmonious and a core fear is being separated from others. Common characteristics is value feeling connected to others, nature, emotions, etc., and extremely authentic. Couple blind spots is like to avoid conflict, which can lead to a hard time addressing situations head on and can appear lazy when they are passive. So we have all of your types from 1 to 9 in here, what they are labeled, and the core desires, fears, characteristics, and blind spots. So next we're going to go into understanding. So benefits of the Enneagram and knowing your wings. So first we're going to have a little discussion. So what does knowing your type have to do with leadership? And what roles would you utilize your number knowledge? So obviously virtual, can't really have a discussion, but please feel free to pause, take a second to think about it, and then I will share my answer. So for what does knowing your type have to do with leadership? For me, knowing my type helps me understand who I am as a person and how I can apply that to my leadership roles. So I'm currently a peer leader trainer for the peer leader training course, and I'm a type 6, so I am a loyalist. So let's go back just to give an example. So my common characteristics in terms of how I present myself and how I take on the role, I am always one step ahead of what could possibly happen. So maybe if for some reason something might happen in the classroom, I am aware and I am always now ready for what that potential risk could be. In terms of a fear of mine, I do fear not having guidance or support in what I do. So that's kind of important so I can tell those around me who may be my training partner or my friends or my peers or my mentors of like, hey, this is stuff in terms of blind spots as well. These are things that I have a hard time with or need help. If I don't see them right away, if you can point them out and we can work on it together. And then what roles would you utilize your number knowledge? I gave an example of the peer leader training course for me. A typical one could probably be your job. It could be any other types of leadership roles, and it could just be in your everyday life. Like you are still a student as well. So your numbers could definitely apply as a student in terms of like group projects or how you do your schoolwork, any of that. So it's really very general, but a lot of good information. Okay, so the benefits of the Enneagram and kind of knowing what your number is. So the first is knowing blind spots of your stress number can help you better understand how you respond when stressed. And we'll kind of go over that as well next about what your stress and growth numbers are. Knowing the numbers of those on your team or around you helps to ensure successful collaboration. So in terms of, like I said, about the peer leader training course, as I'm a trainer, in terms of my training partner, this could really be beneficial of knowing each other's numbers. Number 3 is knowing your Enneagram core number can give you a greater knowledge of yourself, your desires, fears, and motivations. And then number 4 is understanding these can help you in leadership situations. So let's go over what your wings are. So what are your wings? Wings are the numbers directly to the right or left of your core number. And a note is not everyone has a wing. So some people, if I was a 6 and my 5 just wasn't not something prominent for me, then I don't have a wing, and that's okay. An example is someone with a core 6, but the wing to number 5 because they demonstrate qualities of number 5. So I mentioned before, knowing your blind spots of your stress number. So that's what we're going to go over next. So we have our stress and growth and whatever your type is. So for me, I am type 6. My stress is competitive and arrogant. So it's similar to the type 3 of their traits. And then my growth would be in relaxed and optimistic. So take time to look at this chart. The number in the parentheses correlates with what type it resonates with. So in terms of like a type 9, they are stressed and worried, just like a type 6. But for a type 3, they are cooperative and committed, like a type 6 for growth. So just a fun little chart to visually see kind of where you are and how maybe you can look up what type you are in terms of your stress or growth and really help that combat how you want to present yourself and like how you want to handle your stress and your growth. So this is just a breakdown of the Enneagram and going over each type. So 1 is moral perfectionist. Number 2 is supportive advisor. 3 is a successful or achiever. 4 is romantic individualist. 5 is investigative thinker. 6 is a loyal guardian. 7, entertaining optimist. 8 is protective challenger. And 9 is a peaceful mediator. Okay, and that is all we have for you, a quick little presentation about the Enneagram. If you have any questions, please feel free to email, call. You can follow us on our social media at Kent State Leads. I hope you all enjoyed this presentation. You kind of got to learn a bit more about yourself and your number and how that correlates with you, how you can apply it in your future roles, and how you can just apply it to your everyday life. So I hope you have a good rest of your semester, and thanks for watching.